Hello, amazing, beautiful Earth and world. Today's topic will be about being an uplifting force on this planet. Not only for your family, not only for your friends, not only for your country, but for the world. We all know that the different places in the world have different viewpoints and perspectives. By trying to study them and to build an understanding of them, we can see the different blessings those viewpoints and perspectives has to give to each and one of us. And every single perspective sees things from a viewpoint that is from their experiences in life. And by having a certain feel for that others have other experiences and a different viewpoint than you, and still find an understanding to be able to bond with something different than what we normally bond with. For example, with our intellect, or our emotions, or our spiritual faculties. These are different ways to bond with. We have come from blood relations, country relations and such, and it is about high time that we human beings maybe choose to go a little higher, from country to continent and at last to world. We are all human beings, and there is no limits to what we can gain in knowledge and spirit. The illusion of limit is something we put on ourselves based on belief and theories. But by actually really wanting to find out what is the limit and is there even a limit, be open to that, then all of a sudden you have a much higher range of a variety of viewpoints, you can say. You can see that not the similarities, but the connections. You can start to feel that all of these are uplifting spirits, but we have to willfully allow them to unfold like a flower. By taking our own training and esoteric initiation in our hands, by choosing to do the first step, by wanting to, if not anyone else do it, just as an example, you do it still, you want to see the change, and hence you start cultivating what you feel is right, what you have observed is right, and what you have observed is for the betterment of all. And it can be many things. We only need to start somewhere. And by starting somewhere and take initiative, we will gain a boost, in a sense, gain a little support from the higher ups. They will reach their hand to us, and we try to reach up to them by building up intellectual and spiritual concepts around understanding spirit and understanding the world and where we are going and what we are becoming. After a certain while of immersing yourself and absorbing yourself in all kinds of different spiritual practices and scriptures and wisdom, you start to feel the different flavors of them, that they all are pointing up to one and the same thing, but they are pointing at different places on that thing. They're pointing on different spots on the elephant. They can't see the whole elephant, of course. And by slowly starting to gain that me from my viewpoint, as I see the world, can understand and honor what you in your viewpoint have experienced and understand, And we can build an understanding on a third part, a third understanding, instead of butting heads against walls. That is getting nowhere. And by trying to force an opinion on another person without them wanting it is impossible. Literally impossible. Unless you that might even not work either. Even if you torture them just to take it to the extreme. Or if the will isn't there, the free will, if you haven't chosen to do it, then it is a block there, right? And then you might even not need to go that way. You might have other places to go to learn different experiences for your set of lifestyle and purpose. And by having an uplifting feeling to these, instead of a judgmental, now that's the trick. That requires active and conscious experiencing. It requires to be here and more or less say no to yourself about judging the thing. If you're able to see yourself judging it in the moment, by building on the values and the morals and ethics, you have that groundwall, that foundation, where you do not allow yourself to become immoral or unethical to a degree that is detrimental and destructive to all of mankind. To be aware of the many different sensation flavors of the world, both spiritually, physically, and sensationally in our inner world, is each and every individual one of us choice to make and responsibility to do if we make that choice. And that in on itself gives you a certain hope. A hope that, yes, I have something to aspire to. And it doesn't need to be an aspiration to this life. It can be an aspiration to something eternal, something ongoing even after death. And by doing that, you reflect it in your living, by having that as a foundation. And to live life to your fullest. Even when you some days are a little less active than other days, that means you're supposed to do another thing in that day. As long as we not consciously become lazy, or we drift away, or we stop thinking about simple things and just let ourselves go, we'll only feed in our bad habits, especially if they are repeated often. We do love the comfort and safety of repetition, even though that repetition is not necessarily to our best liking, or more to our detriment than to our well-being. And by focusing on our well-being also, the Spirit gives you a feeling of well-being, a feeling of healing forces, where you lift yourself up to, you become more important to yourself, and you know where you are in this world. And instead of letting everyone else judge you for who you are, you yourself judge you based on your own action, based on what you do, say, feel, think. And still include yourself into the world by not fighting with everyone that is against you, but by trying to find a common ground. You don't even need to speak to them about what you disagree about. Try to find something else then. Now that's the challenge, right? By talking to people and getting to know them in other ways than what you yourself live in the individual moment. That is a challenge to me, because I love to talk about spirituality. I just love it. That is something I kind of struggle with. But I feel that by speaking of spirituality, you speak out these beings that are constantly around us in beautiful terms and dances of concepts. in our intellect and feelings. They are more in our inner world now than there are in the outer. We saw them more in the outer in earlier times, but now they are showing more and more up in our inner faculties and personalities and such, and what we do in actions. And to connect this to the world again, and to spiritualize the world by releasing it from this cold torment of materialism that is all devoid of life and love and feeling and beauty and colors and music. These are things that are devoid in many of our concepts today that we see the world. And by going in to see what these concepts actually are affecting us from day to day cognitive life, what we cognize from day to day is affected by what we believe in. And if we believe in a cold, random, Earth came from Big Bang, from molecules, and here we are, then we are just here without purpose. But if we came here from stages by stage of spiritual life, and by sacrifice from the high sublime beings to create this world, you're quickly starting to see the purpose and the evolution and the growth we human beings are going through. To study from the earliest Indian times, to the Persians, to the Egypto-Chaldean, to the Greco-Roman, and to now, and see the different faculties they were seeing things from, what kind of cognition what they experienced the world from. And we can only get a sensation or a feeling of this today, since this is not the way we are today. We have gained something else since that time. I don't want to go too deep into this because I am not an expert in free talking details in that degree, if you know what I mean. I am more of a generalizing, universal, cosmic, macro to micro. That is what I try. If I am to go into details, I will have to start writing, and yeah, that is what I mean. But by being aware that we have gone from one place and are constantly going forward in different regards and different civilizations and cultures, then you will start to see the whole picture and see things from above and start to see the whole world and every human being and every individual, instead of that individual that's part of a country and we have to, we are part of a country, yes, we are part of a continent too, and this world. So why not give ourselves the respect we deserve, the values we deserve, the dignity we deserve, and not watch ourselves as animals with instincts, rational animals with instincts. The animals came from us, not vice versa. And that is for another time. And we have just observe any animal on this earth. They are very, very set on their ways of being an animal. But we can even choose to go imitate an animal and become a tiger for a day if we want to. The tiger can't do that. That's because we can choose it individually if we are idiot enough. I'm sorry, some people might actually like being a tiger and I'm not going to call them an idiot. Sorry about that. But you get my drift. We are infinitely huge in possibilities. Better grab it. That is what I have to say today. May the divine world bless us all and guide us on this path to awakening, initiation, and evolution. Love you all. Goodbye.